Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. Former CFTC chairman Chris Giancarlo has stated that XRP is not a security. So does that clear XRP? Does that make it so that XRP is officially not a security? How is this public statement any different than the speech that former SEC Director William Hinman gave in June of 2018 when he stated that Ethereum is not a security? What are the differences right here? Well, I'm going to lay them out because there are actually a lot of differences, and all of this is actually very important. But before I go any further, I do want to be clear that I don't have a legal or financial background of any kind. I am not offering legal or financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. And so to explain why I'm bringing this up, it's because I shared a number of opinions on Twitter, and having to do with William Hinman, who, again, in June 14th, 2018, gave a speech professing that Ethereum is not a security for a number of reasons, including the fact that it's decentralized. And it was presented, in my view, it was presented in such a way that it's official decree from the SEC, but then he slipped in a little side note saying, hey, these are just my opinions, though, just so you know, guys. Just so you know, guys. So I want to talk about this. And so in my very last video, I shared this tweet from somebody named Attack Titan on Twitter, who tagged me along with others in the XRP community and wrote, watching this video for the first time, very long. Here are my observations so far from the first few minutes, with Ethereum dropped right in the middle, all around this backdrop. And you can see in the backdrop here with William Hinman, right behind him as he's given the speech, it says federal government rules around crypto and ICOs. And so I saw that and retweeted it, and I wrote the following. Why'd Hinman give his 2018 Ethereum speech, which today he claims is only his opinion, with a backdrop stating his speech is about the federal government's position on crypto and ICOs? Oh, I know, because it was the SEC's official position on the matter. They're just pretending it wasn't. And so Real XRP Boy, who I'm definitely a fan of, a great member of the XRP community, been around for years, he shared a video clip. And it's a 12-second video clip of Hinman stating, hey, these are my opinions and mine alone. And so it does seem to be the position of Real XRP Boy that Hinman should get. I don't want to put words in his mouth. I'm just sharing right now how I perceived it. And there's another tweet from him which makes me believe this as well. So again, I'm not saying for sure this is what he believes. This is how I perceived it. So I could be incorrect, and I want to acknowledge that. But I believe that he doesn't think that this is the official position of the SEC. And that's what the SEC is saying. So he really does seem to believe that it's just the position of William Hinman here. Here's another separate tweet, which I wasn't tagged in, but I saw this. It was in my newsfeed. And this is also from Real XRP Boy, and he shared the same clip and wrote, his speech was as significant as Giancarlo saying XRP is not a security. And so Giancarlo, that's Chris Giancarlo, I cited at the beginning of the video, former CFTC chair, who did state his personal opinion that XRP is not a security. And so I have an opinion that is different than Real XRP Boys, but and so I'm gonna state my case, and I'm gonna try and persuade you listening to this that I am right. but look, I love thoughtful discourse, and so I want to be clear. Anytime I put in an opinion that's different than somebody's, even if they're not in the XRP community, you know what I typically say. You might already know it if you've been listening to my channel. This is not an attack on that person. I actually think it's really fun to talk about these things, but I know when people have their ideas challenged, sometimes it could be perceived in a way that I'm not intending. And so I just want to be clear at the outset so that there's no confusion. Big fan of Real XRP Boy for sure. Value his perspective, and if he doesn't find my my position here to be persuasive, that's fine. Like we can all still be friends even if we disagree on this stuff. I just don't want to create accidentally any animosity. That's why I'm always clear about this stuff from the get-go. But I have a blast talking about this stuff. I really do. And so if at any point I happen to, and I don't know if this is going to happen, but if I ever start to sound angry during this video, it's actually not anger. So it's the last thing I want to be clear about. It's just passion. I don't don't know if that's going to happen, but if I start to sound angry, I promise I'm not mad. I'm having a good time here. All right. So he cited again, Chris Giancarlo saying XRP not a security onwards. But he says that the speech that Giancarlo gave, William Hinman's speech was as significant as Chris Giancarlo saying XRP is not a security. That I very much disagree with. So let me state my case here. So going back to my thread right here, where I was complaining about how William Hinman is standing in front of a big-ass screen at the Yahoo Finance Crypto Summit that states federal government rules around crypto and ICOs, and then he gives what is supposed to be his personal opinion. And then Real XRP Boy, he did bring up a fair point by sharing this 12-second clip where William Hinman says at the conference, hey, this is just my opinion alone. Okay, fair enough. I got that. And that's what he's saying today now, too. Never mind the fact that, of course, actually, let me go through my thread because this really perfectly breaks down my response to this. And so in response to Real XRP Boy's sharing of that 12-second clip, I wrote the following. Yes, one tiny disclaimer with the huge backdrop. So I'm talking about, stating that it's, the federal, federal government rules around crypto and ICOs. That's what I'm referencing, that backdrop. He then went on television using the words we and where in describing the stance. Also, SEC staff helped him draft the speech. It was clearly SEC intent for the public and market participants to view this as official policy. That was the whole point, really. Give the market confidence and clarity so that ETH and those who with ties to it would prosper. And it did provide confidence and clarity, which made market participants have more confidence in XRP too, because it's also decentralized. So let me pause right there for my thread. The reason I wrote that is because in that speech he provided clarity for Ethereum, but based on the guideline which was taken by market participants and the public at large as official decree from the SEC because of the way it was presented. That provided confidence to market participants that XRP2, since it's sufficiently decentralized, also would not be a security, and so that's where the problem is. So let me go on to my thread now. In fact, exchanges listed XRP after this speech, which is very telling. Market participants were satisfied with this speech. And given how high-ranking Hinman was, if his opinion was way off from what the SEC believes, then the SEC had a duty to inform the public of such. What did we get instead? A week later, Jay Clayton, of course, is the former SEC chair. He was the SEC chair at the time this was all going down, in 2018. A week later, Jay Clayton, when confronted about the speech on C-SPAN, made it clear that they had issues with ICOs, which Ripple never had with XRP. Of course, Ethereum did, but it got the golden pass anyway. And then I shared a clip from Bank XRP, at Bank XRP on Twitter. And this is on June 21st, 2018. And I wrote the following about this clip. In this clip, U.S. Representative Warren Davidson tells Jay Clayton that he appreciates Hinman clarifying that Ether is not a security. Clayton did not respond by saying that was just Hinman's opinion and not official SEC stance. Isn't that incredibly irresponsible? So pause. Let me just think about this. Here you have a guy thanking effectively Hinman for delivering the message that he did. Ether not a security, but if Ether hasn't been declared a non-security, shouldn't Jay Clayton have cleared this all up? Why did he allow that to persist? Because again, with the messaging, the way it was all presented, it was supposed to be perceived by market participants the exact way that they perceived it, as official decree from the SEC. But it wasn't etched in stone. And there was that little disclaimer, the little one-line disclaimer saying, "Hey, it's just my opinion." And so despite the facade you put on, that's supposed to give you a pass. I would argue no. I'd say that's highly deceptive. All right, and then I wrote. Instead, and so in response to Representative Davidson saying what he said, I wrote the following. Instead, Clayton nodded his head and stated it's a problem when, quote, you're raising capital for a project, end quote. So he confirmed that important portion of what Hinman stated in his Ethereum speech just 1 week prior, rather than distance the SEC from those very important perspectives. Folks, this is by design. And so to pretend that it isn't is to deny reality is in fact reality. And so how did market participants respond? How did they respond? Well, take a look at this. Here's something that CNBC shared on their Facebook account here. You can see June 14th, 2018. Here's the headline. SEC says Bitcoin and Ethereum are not securities. Does it say William Hinman says that Bitcoin and Ethereum are not securities? No, it says the SEC says Bitcoin and Ethereum are not securities, because that's exactly how it was presented, despite the little one-line disclaimer, no, that is not how it was presented, and understandably, that is not what media ran with. Here's another headline. Cryptocurrency Ether soars 9% after SEC official says it's not a security. Yes, the price increased upon this news. And then here's another headline. This is from Markets Insider. June 14th, 2018, same day. Ethereum spikes after the SEC declares it's not a security. And so there you go. Clearly, the messaging was communicated in such a way. It wasn't just a one-off instance. Media at large all took it as this is the official stance of the SEC. Now, fine. You could take the position. You could take the position that that's the media making the mistake and being irresponsible. And I'll say, okay, fair enough. You can make that point. But I say that their response was perfectly reasonable, actually, and that the SEC was actually being deceptive. Because, look, if the SEC's position all along is that it has no position on Ethereum's status as a security, then it knowingly participated in market confusion. That's exactly why I have a problem with this. So even if on a technicality you could say all of these media outlets were wrong, they still got tricked by the SEC. They knowingly caused market confusion. And then after all of this, did you see the SEC come out and say, whoa, guys, calm down. This could affect how market participants behave. Just to be clear, we at the SEC haven't taken a stance. After seeing all of this, did we get any of that from the SEC? No, we did not. We absolutely did not. And so, compare that to Giancarlo, because again, real XRP boy, he says that William Hinman's speech was as significant as Chris Giancarlo saying XRP is not a security. On that point, I definitely disagree. There was no market confusion after Giancarlo's speech. So a couple things. Giancarlo was not at the CFTC when he wrote his piece about XRP, which occurred about a year ago. While Hinman was at the SEC while he gave his speech. So understandably, Hinman, he's given a speech at the Yahoo Financial Crypto Summit, and then you got the background, the picture I showed you about how it's a talk about how they word it, federal government rules around crypto and ICOs, and then you can understand why the media ran with the story the way they did. Of course they did. That looks like official SEC decree. And he's one of the highest ranking employees at the SEC at the time. Then you've got Chris Giancarlo. He's not with the CFTC anymore. He's gone, but he just shared his opinion. And where did he share it? He shared it at whatever this web. What is this? Maybe they cite it here. Maybe we could find it really easily. Yeah, there you go. International Financial Law Review. There you go. And so when this happened, did XRP's price spike? No, but Ethereum's price spiked when it got clarity, right, from William Hinman. Not the same. So there's two things there. Again, CFTC guy, former CFTC guy, he's sharing his opinion. William Hinman sharing his opinion. And look, I don't have a problem with people in the SEC sharing their opinions, but it was framed in such a way that it was knowingly deceptive. It was absolutely, there is intent behind all of this. That's why I have a problem with it. And so there's that. And so you can look at here. So how did the market respond to these comments from Chris Giancarlo? Well, here's a headline from Cointelegraph. I'm sorry, this is CoinDesk, actually. Former CFTC chair Giancarlo lays out why he thinks XRP isn't a security. Do you know what the headline didn't say? He didn't say why it didn't say that XRP has clarity because former CFTC chair speaks. This is very different. This is substantially different. In fact, I challenge you to find one headline after this thing was published in the law review. What was it called? International Financial Law Review a year ago. I challenge you to find one headline that said XRP got clarity. It's not a security. It didn't happen. This is not even close to the same thing, right? And so that's functionally a very, very big problem here. And so it's fascinating the reasons that this guy broke down. In fact, I'll cover a little bit of it for you before wrapping up the video here. But to be clear, I hopefully I've done a sufficient job in being persuasive, because I feel strongly about this. I feel like the SEC, they wanted to have it both ways. They wanted to convince open markets to participate in a particular way. Obviously, William Hinman personally benefited from this, as far as I can tell. Because he made millions of dollars from his former law firm, which benefited from all of this. And so that doesn't look good. I'm not saying that he did anything illegal because I don't have enough evidence, but it certainly looks bad at a minimum. But either way, this is deceptive. And then he goes on television, he uses the words we and where. No. None of this passes the smell test. And you didn't get that with Chris Giancarlo, with a former chair of the CFTC here. But anyway, take a look at this piece. This is from June 17th, 2020, so 3 days after Hinman's speech. And again, the market didn't respond, and it's understandable why. It's in a law review website. That's where this is published. And it's a former, not current official, so it couldn't be official decree anyway. And as a result of the way it was framed, the market didn't respond the same way that it responded with William Hinman's comments. And so it reads as follows. XRP is more like an alternative currency than a security, argues the former chair of the U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC. In an op-ed for the International Financial Law Review, Chris Giancarlo, who was chairman of the CFTC until last year, argued Ripple Labs hadn't violated any U.S. securities regulations, and that the third largest crypto by market cap should have the same legal status as Bitcoin or Ether. And so look, to be clear, I want to be really crystal clear on this. With Bill Hinman, had he not stood in front of this backdrop that says federal government rules around crypto and ICOs, and not presented it in his personal opinions in such a way that it would cause market confusion, I wouldn't have a problem with this. And even if it caused market confusion, I still could have been okay with that mistake if it were a genuine mistake by the SEC coming out and clarifying further, oh no, just to be clear, we actually haven't ruled on any of this. That did not happen. So again, that has to be intentional. How else could you perceive it here? But anyway, this piece continues. XRP should not, but I almost missed the main point I want to make on that topic. So Bill Hinman has every right to make his personal position known. That's perfectly fine. But this is done in more than just a little bit of a sloppy way. So yes, officials can make their own official opinions known and say, yes, it's not this. But if it's just a one-liner and then it's designed in such a way that with the backdrop and you know how the media is going to run the story and then you don't correct the media, you are participating in market confusion, period. And so anyway, this piece continues now. XRP should not be regulated as a security, but instead considered a currency or a medium of exchange, he wrote with Conrad Bulk of international law firm Wilkie Farr and Gallagher. They said XRP doesn't hit any of the prongs of the Howey test, a landmark case that defines what is considered a security in the United States. According to Giancarlo, Giancarlo and Bulk, who both wrote this, XRP was never marketed as a security, nor were investors promised any returns. The token has a very specific use case for liquidity and settlements. Ripple has never offered holders any rights of ownership or share of the profits. There is, he argues, no investment contract or formal relationship that exists between Ripple Labs and XRP token holders. But the linchpin in his argument appears to be that there's a divergence between how Ripple Labs has defined XRP and what token holders themselves actually use it for. Ripple has repeatedly emphasized the functionality of XRP as a liquidity tool and a settlement mechanism, Bulk writes. But there are plenty of investors who use XRP as a means of payment or just buy it hoping its value will increase. There is no commonality that exists between investors, they continue. People who hold XRP hold it for various reasons, unlike a security where the reasons for holding it are much more clear-cut. As such, the fortunes of XRP investors aren't tied to XRP in quite the same way as they would be with a security token. Some could benefit directly from XRP's dollar value staying low, others would want it to always remain high. And so I don't want to read the whole article, but that kind of got at the thrust of it. And so that is his opinion, not the opinion of the CFTC, but it wasn't presented in a way that it was the official position of the CFTC. I don't have problems with he or Bill Hinman having their own opinions. It's the way in which it was conducted with the intent to confuse the market. And confusing they did. And so, you tell me how I did. You tell me if you find it my argument persuasive, or if you still think that the SEC is perfectly in the clear here. Whatever you think listening to this, that's perfectly fine. We don't have to agree on anything specifically to be friends. I like thoughtful discourse, but if you do think I'm wrong still, after me laying out my case here, which I think is a pretty gosh darn good case, if I may say, articulate it in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. I love the back and forth. I don't get offended by ideas that are different than my own. I really don't. So lay it on me. I love debate. It's a lot of fun as far as I'm concerned. The only time it doesn't get fun is when people do get offended by ideas that are different than their own, and then they get rude and mean and emotions come out. Then it's no longer fun. But as long as we can all be adults and just not be offended by ideas that we don't have ourselves, it can be a good time. And so I like it. So let's go from there. It's a good stopping point for me, though. I am not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.